we had a question from the chat as well. Cynthia said, can you give some actual examples of what you did on behalf of others?
Yeah, yeah. And I guess I could think of it like two ways. Like one, we could go in like a job situation, or we could talk about just like outside of that that you like want anything specific. You could just put it in the chat if you want.
Yeah, I'll take myself off mute. Yeah, anything, any doesn't really matter. I'm just coming from a perspective of I'm a job counselor, so I counsel job seekers all the time.
Hmm.
When you're looking for a job, that's a full-time job.
Yeah,
But we
absolutely.
also encourage people to volunteer, for instance, and and treat that like a job.
Hmm.
Because you network well and it keeps you in the game and you can learn new skills. And as you said, you can certainly, get some satisfaction out of providing value to others. But there's
Hmm.
also the don't be a doormat and don't let people just take advantage of you. And you've got to have some, boundaries of what you're going to spend your time doing. And the other part of me kind of thinks like, anything worth doing is worth getting paid to do it, and don't just give your free consulting away. So
Hmm.
obviously you can strike a balance there, but looking back on what you did over that year, can you give some examples of things that you did do that you found, productive, but not feeling like you're just at the mercy of whomever needs some.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I love that because it was definitely an area I struggled with. I'd reach out to people and say like, "Hey, how can I help you?" And they would say like, you could do this for me," and it's something I didn't want to do, but I did it anyway because I thought like maybe it'll work out in the long run. But to answer your question, I think about like maybe the first person I reached out to. It was a guy who ran like a digital marketing firm. I reached out and said, "Hey, what can I do for you?" And he said, "Well, do you want to work for me like as a free intern?" And usually I would say no. Um, but instead of looking at that way, I thought to myself, hey, maybe I'll work as a free intern now, but will this get me towards where I want to be? So I did, came on as a free intern, and after 2, 3 months, he actually introduced me to someone who was able to give me not a full time job, but a side gig. And I was able to work for them and earn a couple extra bucks that way. So I guess for me, when I look at it, and I could be completely wrong, but um, I would do things for people that not trying to say comfortable with, but I'm okay with, and slash or could lead me to where I want to be. Not just someone wants me to do something because they don't feel like doing it and they don't value me as well. All right. Thank you for your question, Cynthia.
Yeah, I thought that was good because I think the cautionary thing there is like decide up front what your boundaries, what your personal boundaries are, and how much time you're willing
Hmm.
to give something, and not have it just some open-ended, maybe you'll work for, no pay and an internship type of thing for X amount of weeks. And then that,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I feel it's necessary. It's easy to get trapped in. I'm gonna just do this for this person, and then.
Well, I'll also say a lot of things that come up in our work is as soon as someone realizes, and I also realize that this isn't just simply about people who might be looking for work, it could be anybody, but I deal with mainly people looking for work. Um, and as soon as someone realizes that you're not employed full time, people come out of the woodwork with things they want you to do. So family members, oh, can you come help me move? Can you do, I mean, it just is never ending. And pretty soon, all the time you could have been looking for your new job is
Hmm.
spent feeling these obligatory types of things that, yes, they're helpful to people. And yes, you might feel good about helping your friends and family, but they're really not getting you anywhere. In fact, they're wasting your time. So
Hmm.
again, that's another boundary that you need to set is like, why am I doing this? And have your purpose in mind of course you had a purpose, but but what you hope to get out of what you're doing. Like if you really want to gain a skill and you don't have
Hmm.
that skill, so you volunteer your time somewhere and you're going to gain a skill that you didn't have before. Well, that's a great use of your time. Plus, it helps the other person. So I guess that's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, how did you strategize how you were going to use this time you had? And of
Yeah.
course, maybe it was to write a book. I mean, I don't know, but
I want to make a quick comment if that's okay. This
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
and I had a friend when she got laid off. She volunteered for her church and she was a project manager. And what she did for them was project management. And she put it on her resume. She did not say this was volunteer work and I didn't get paid for it. She put down that she was working for her church as a project manager. So sometimes, having a gap on your resume, how do you explain that? Well, she didn't have to explain anything because it looked like she was working the whole time.
Mhm.
yeah, and that's what we tell all of our job seekers is treat a volunteer job like a job. Like you put your bullets in there of all the tasks you did. You don't have to say it was unpaid.
Mhm.
It's still, you're contributing and you're probably learning skills and you want to demonstrate those skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Cynthia, I feel like we could have like a whole deep discussion about family wants you to do work when they know you're unemployed. But I appreciate your question.